Just wait. Let him have a cigarette. Let him have a cigarette. Let him have a cigarette.
And then you will.
So Dan, what was one of the charges was camping? How'd you go with that?
Not guilty.
Not guilty of camping.
Not guilty.
Ask him questions in a minute. On the live.
Well done, man.
I've got a live
I'm
going.
just going to, oh, you got the live
Oh,
going.
he
haven't
wanted
you?
to wait.
Okay.
I just wanted a cigarette.
Yeah, okay. We'll have a cigarette first. Dan wants a cigarette, guys. Give him a cigarette. He just smashed out the park.
So they've added
Thiessen said camping is not camping until you actually camp. And having all the paraphernalia is not camping until you set up a camp.
So that's Tobias's defence then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did they charge him with camping?
Oh, they changed all the charges. They changed all the charges.
So he was supposed to be camping at the GG's.
That was camping apparently.
Fuck off.
Like I said, we did. How much research did four of us do?
Yeah. I
We
know.
knew we were allowed there, and we knew he had no jurisdiction there.
Yeah, it was ACT.
We told him.
And where we moved to was the guardhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
And neither of it was under the ordinance.
Yeah.
But he could have.
Well, they switched from NCA land to the ordinance at one stage. They went back and forth trying to get him for something.
Well, the thing about it is they actually closed that road until they could change it to NCA in their rules.
They actually said that. Oh, this document here says and it's 2022. And I went. That was changed after.
Yeah.
And Dan brought up that there was no date on there when it was changed.
Well, we proved to the police. We had those two documents. Plus, they can't get you for not moving on because we moved on to another jurisdiction. How much further do you have to bloody move?
What is moving on?
Well, it is. It's simply moving from their jurisdiction.
Well, it's moving.
We moved our cars, didn't we?
We moved everything.
So when did they change all the charges? Today?
While we were in there, Thiessen said to them, do you have a backup charge? Because this one's no good. Actually, I asked them if they had a backup charge. So
For assault?
was that the assault one? Yeah, the assault one, yeah.
Yeah, because
do you
this
have,
is no good.
Do you have a backup charge?
What a fucker.
In the courtroom, in front of him, do you have a backup charge? Can you find anything else that you can charge him for?
How's their KPIs? Fucking in the toilet.
How can they legally just change charges whenever they want?
Well, that's their job is to make money, isn't it?
Eh?
Their job is to make money.
Yeah.
And that bloody contempt, that was never on the agenda to start with.
No, that was a backup in case they lost.
Yeah.
If we lose today, let's have this ready to go.
So what was the contempt of what? And something else.
Yeah. Previous attempts at
court and arrested.
Yeah. We'll wait till Christine's ready. Wait till Christine's ready.
Right.
Across the road.
That's what I knew then.
Need a flag behind him.
Okay.
Do you want to put your flag up behind Dan?
We'll talk about it after.
Rightio, Dan.
G'day to all Christine Keen's Digital Digs. G'day to all the digital digs over here as well. Our digital digs upon the webinets. G'day.
3 charges today, Dan. How'd you go?
First charge, trespass, not guilty. Second charge, obstruction, not guilty. Third charge, assault of a police officer.
Not guilty.
Doesn't work, does it?
Stood in your truth. Now, we knew he was standing in his truth because there was multiple weeks of research to whether or not we could protest there or not and what jurisdiction it was in. And we told Detective Croft when he came to issue the move on order that he had no jurisdiction there. And he said, I don't care about jurisdiction. We've got him on video saying, I don't care about jurisdiction. And like Dan said, they never gave him the move on order.
Yep.
It was given to me.
And to me.
We never had to use our evidence, we use their evidence.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm at loss for words other than to thank everyone for their constant
Well,
support.
what you've done today, Dan, opens up the whole world, because everybody that was obstructed that day and that night, or arrested or hit or pushed or punched or moved on, has now got legal conscience back onto the police, because they've just proven that they were not legal in their duties that they did that night.
That's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, there was a position open where we were peaceful people, willing to talk and converse with the police, get information from them,
Yep.
and work together for common.
And we had a really good understanding with the guardhouse at that place. We had permission from their area commander of that of the PSOs to be there that night. We had a set of conditions that we complied with, and we negotiated with them. And then ACT policing, who were not in jurisdiction in that area, decided that they didn't like it.
There is no clear map that is Commonwealth ground.
That was one of the
always
things.
by the magistrate.
Yep.
There's no clear mapping system.
And even with Croft acting badly like he did, which I made a complaint against him and they wouldn't take it,
How many complaints were put against Croft acting illegally that night?
at least a dozen.
And there was no they said there was no grounds for complaint.
They said
Well, now there is grounds for complaint.
What it is that the guardhouse came to us after he was there in front of him and said, we are happy for you to move down to our jurisdiction. It's not his jurisdiction, and protest all night as you've been doing it.
Yep.
So they have no grounds at all.
We had an agreement, no loud music. We had an agreement all around.
He who makes a claim bears the burden of proof.
That's right.
All right, they make a claim of jurisdiction, they don't have the proof.
They never had the
So
proof.
you need to, whoever makes that claim, if they're making a claim there's a law to move on,
Show us.
show us the law.
Show us.
It's not that hard.
And they
We are
could have
all for
simply
laws.
negotiated with us like we
We
did.
are all for laws. We are all for the right laws, but they've got to have a backing to the claim.
Exactly.
You can't just go and do what you want.
You can't just make up your own shit.
No making shit up. No.
And all this,
Thanks, Dan.
While this is all going, this is merely a distraction. The fact that the Governor General has not done his job. This is an indictment on him. As the three people stood to fight for the sanctity of children, fight for the freedom, fighting for all those who cannot fight for themselves, he moved the police in a mercenary force against the free people. This is an indictment on him. And then 3 days later, for him to go to the Anzac Memorial and lay a wreath for those same things, for those that fought for the sanctity of children, fought for those who can't fight for themselves, and fought for people's freedom.
Shame on him.
Shame on you, David Hurley. This is a major indictment on you and this unconstitutional government. And sending these thugs out. Once again, they get away with everything while they try to hold us accountable. But they will be
We'll
held
see about that.
accountable. They'll be held accountable in a private manner.
Yep.
But I really
Thank you
thank
for
everyone
helping,
for
Glenn.
watching, and thank you to Glenn. Thank you to Bruce. Thank you to Schultz's cheat sheets. Thank you to Brendan Thompson, who was there originally. Thank you to all those friends that have stood right behind me this whole way.
You know what, Dan? We were standing behind you. You were standing in the truth out the front, mate. Out the front in your truth. Yep. I seen you look up to make sure you had enough room for when God struck him with lightning. Please don't hit me, God.
But, we've got more work to do. There's still more to do. I'm still not allowed to go home.
And I need to love you all and leave you all, guys.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for your time. All right, guys. There you go. We just heard it. Dan wins in his truth. The truth will always win ahead. Should never be scared of the truth. Dan stood in his truth the entire time. The entire time. Dan was standing there for all these people that go missing, all these kids that go missing, all the shit that the world's done, the government's done against us. There's a quote for you, look at that. This is what you need to do. This is what Dan did. He fought for you, people. He fought for you, and he won. Hey, mate. All right, guys. Catch you later.